Hey look, the PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 194. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I am joined, as always, by Fulia, Matt, and Ron on this Sunday. I hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. But look, Ron, you shake your head. But at the same time, I didn't, you know what? At least I said Sunday this time. At least I said Sunday.
It's true.
You did. It was the monster truck thing that got me.
Of course. Because we're here for Gravedigger and Bigfoot. Look, I'm just trying to bring the energy because I know we have a very sleepy koala in our hands. So
we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, we got this.
Koala can't be up there trying to do that. Koala. Sometimes you gotta get sleep.
Yeah. I mean,
kind of hard when I want to discuss some games.
Well,
it's not at the time zone that I want it to be.
I mean, we'll talk about said game in a little bit because I'm sure y'all have plenty of things to say about it. But anyways, I hope everyone's had a fantastic weekend, and I'm excited to talk PlayStation with y'all. I know we didn't have this on the docket because I don't think we got a question for this. But of course, there is late breaking news that I will at least mention. Of course, that PlayStation 5 consoles are going up in price in Europe as well as other countries. So signs of things to come. Australia is one of them.
Yeah, and New Zealand.
Yeah, which is
just bound to happen. We knew it. That's right. What is it? 5 years after a console comes out, prices go up, not down.
There's a lot more to it than that, though.
It already went up $50 not too long ago, and now it's going up even more.
Yeah. World in chaos.
Well, I mean, Canada's the same way. Like, we've had 2 price increases since the PS5 came out. So, Matt, I think a third price increase might be around the corner for us, probably.
This might be the first time where it was actually financially smarter to buy on day one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at where we are.
Which is wild.
Which is wild. That's never the case.
No.
So
this is the first generation where it's really been like that, because every other generation, like consoles have always gone down in price, or they've at least just bundled stuff with it to make it cheaper. But yeah, it's just really interesting to look at because it's crazy to think about that point, Matt, where it's like you actually were better off just buying the console day one because it was cheaper. So
you know I've updated the PowerPoint.
Of course.
PS5 prices have gone up, which is why I need to buy Sweet Potato on day one to save us money. You're welcome. I won't add the "you're welcome" to the Powerpoint.
Yeah, I'm about to say, please don't add that part. Please don't.
I won't add
that.
"you're welcome," but it's added to the PowerPoint. That's right. And now I'm going to link the article. It's all adding up. It's all coming up in the house.
All right. Yeah. Make sure you got everything you need.
Yeah. You got to start that PS6 PowerPoint right now, Matt, because you never know how much work you're going to need to put into that. You know.
There's that too. Oh, that's
you're going to have to save that. You're going to have to save that till a little bit later down the line. Don't hit her with both.
That's true. Yeah. Can't. It's too much.
She's going to say no.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true. Ryan the King asks, is this PowerPoint available on Discord? It could be.
I can share it. It's useful, friends. It is very useful. That's right.
That's right.
He needs all the help he can get. Maybe some feedback from the community will help as well.
Yeah.
Also true.
Yeah.
That's also.
Exactly. Well, anyways, enough about price increases and stuff like that. We should probably answer the door because there's been all this knocking. Just this whole time I've been talking about price increases going, boom, boom, boom. Housekeeping. I don't know why I did the loud banging, but, it's because we spent so long talking about it.
They got impatient.
Yes, exactly. So, of course, we got new supporters over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, Stephen Lackey hopping out in there for that free trial of the 7-day trial of the exclusive tier. Because if y'all didn't know, over on patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where we have a ton of exclusive content and cool stuff over there and cool perks. You can hop in there if you haven't become a patron already. There's a 7-day free trial of the exclusive tier, which is, of course, our most popular tier, allowing you access to a bunch of exclusive content, like some of the stuff we're about to talk about. Like the Pants Patreon podcast for patrons podcast. The Lockleth dropped her episode this morning, so make sure to go check that out. I'm sure it's full of cozy goodness, as well as Matt, your episode, Pants Patreon podcast, is this week. In fact, your post is going up in the morning.
It is. Very, very excited. So send in those questions. Send in some hints for the PowerPoints. Whatever, weather talk, whatever you want, friends. Send them in.
Resident Evil questions, random near lore questions. Matt will answer them all. Yeah.
I will.
Make sure to check that out. Of course, we will make sure to all check out Matt's episode next weekend. Of course, early access to the mini indie van continues over on Patreon. Please make sure, of course, to continue to send in your feedback to Fulia. And of course, we've got the 7-day free trial if you want to give it a listen and, maybe check that out. We've got 3 episodes so far, Fulia.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well with that. So already got some really good feedback for it. Just want to see how the podcast is going. Do you guys like it? Is there anything you want me to add to it? Do you want me to change something? I'm all ears. So just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Fulia, this isn't on the document, but I'm going to go off the document for a quick second because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this will also be out this week. But you and I also recorded a little something a couple days ago, a little podcast y'all may have heard of called Campfire.
Yes.
It'll be out this week. We got a brand new episode. I won't spoil who the rest of the cast is, but just know that Fulia and I are on the cast of Campfire.
I was gonna say you said I am still so sleepy. You said that and I completely forgot that we did.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like, what did we do? I don't remember. And then you mentioned Campfire, and I'm like, oh. Yep.
I was gonna say it's a really good episode. I've even had a chance to listen to it back since we recorded it. It's a good one, folks. So make sure to check out the Patreon this week for a brand new episode of Campfire with Fulia, myself, and 2 other people that, again, I will not spoil. Of course, speaking of Patreon, I will continue to hammer this home until Apple decides to change its mind about this. But quick note about Patreon. Of course, if you are a brand new Patreon subscriber, or if you're returning to the Patreon after being away for a while, maybe you were like, oh, Matt's episode of Pants, I can't miss it, so I need to resubscribe to Patreon to go get it. Well, you're going to want to make sure, of course, to subscribe using the patreon.com website, either through any web browser, whether that web browser's on your phone's web browser or your desktop's web browser or your laptops, because if you register through the Patreon app on iOS specifically, you'll be paying a extra 30% fee to Apple just because. So if you want a 30% discount basically on the Patreon, make sure to subscribe literally anywhere else besides the Patreon app on iOS. So make sure to go do that as well. Of course, we also got carpoolgaming.com for all your merch, including PlayStation Drive t-shirts, as well as other merch over there and all that good stuff. Well, without further ado, friends, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games that we played this week. Starting with Ron, man, what'd you play?
So, rolled credits on Space Marine 2. We're not done with it. We still have operations and stuff like that, but the story campaign is done, and great game. That's all I can say. They improved everything around from Space Marine 1. Like I said, just a joy from the beginning to end. No frustrating moments. It was just great. It was just great. Everything about it, from the gameplay to just, even the story was good. It's just, like I said, going from moment to moment. The environments looked really good. It's an impressive game for the fact that it probably didn't have a super huge budget like that. But I have a feeling that more than likely Focus is going to give Space Marine 3 a quite hefty budget, because Space Marine 2, I think, probably performed way better than they probably thought it was going to.
The fact that they announced a sequel really early shows that this game did pretty well.
Yeah, but they deserve it. They deserve it. Like I said, it's just, if you want to talk about comparing the game to the original, the very first one, it improved in every single way. Great game. So looking forward to doing more operations and stuff like that. But like I said, that campaign was really solid. So looking forward to what they're going to do with Space Marine 3.
Nice.
And then the other game I've been playing is Nobody Wants to Die. Everybody knows I love my noir adventures. It's pretty much a detective game based in, I think it's New York. I think it was 2329. The concept of the world is great. So pretty much immortality is kind of like the big thing here. If you can afford the subscription to have your body, pretty much your memories and everything like that, passed over to a new body, if you can afford it, you'll live forever. There's something weird going on with a certain death of an elite character, and your detective, who is also pretty much immortal because he has a new body, he investigates and starts to find some interesting things going on in this world. He has a partner, still very unsure about the partner and where they're coming from, but things are going really well. The investigations are pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty linear. They don't let you explore too much outside of just the level you're on, but there's a device that you can use to sit there and reconstruct crime scenes, and it's really good stuff so far. I'm very early in. Yes, Matt. Yes.
Ron, my friend,
Yeah.
you've really piqued my interest. Is this game tied into the canceled show on Netflix, Altered Carbon?
It is not, but bringing that up, there are some things that will make you think about that show.
That's exactly what I thought about.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very
loved
early
it.
in. I'll keep you posted afterwards. I'll get Lachlan to
Please.
recommend it to you since you never listen to anybody else. So I'll DM Lachlan for like, hey, recommend this to Matt, and then I know you'll play it for sure.
Yeah.
You don't listen to me and Quack, but you listen to her.
Play.
Yeah.
That's right.
But like I said, I'm very early in. I just got done with the first major mission. I think it's a short. Yes, Koala.
Now, I have a question about like the gameplay mechanics. What is that like? Because you mentioned being that it's a detective game. Like, do you sort of snoop around? What do you do?
Yeah, there's clues within and I don't know if every mission is like this. The very first mission I had, there's clues that you find, and these clues you pretty much will help you reconstruct the crime scene. You use on PlayStation, use the L and right triggers to pretty much rewind, and when it gets to certain moments, they'll talk about the case and whatnot, and they'll go on to that next reconstruction part. At the very end of the case, they'll have all the clues that you've collected, and you pretty much have to link the clues together and then come up with a hypothesis of what you think has happened. They haven't really said that this is it. This is what happened yet, but it works its way toward that. And then now I'm at the next step of what I got from the particular hypothesis. So, like I said, very early, but things are looking very good right now for this game. Really enjoying this one.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Nice.
One of the things that you did when you were describing that, Ron, it kind of reminds me of Ghost in the Shell in that way, where like people were like hijacking other people's brains, or like you would kind of it was the same idea, where as long as you could pay for a robotic body, you could just interchange your brain consistently.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but the very first case, I pretty much was asked to go get the memories from this particular guy.
Yeah.
And of course I get there and somebody has melted his memories.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So there's some
just
intrigue
like
going on. There's some intrigue going on.
That sounds pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll keep it posted, of course.
Cool. Well, Matt, how about you, man? What'd you play?
I'm very excited to share that I rolled credits on PPS, aka Princess Peach Showtime.
Okay.
It's on the baked potato. It's not on PlayStation. I'm sorry, PlayStation Nation, but you know what? I like the game. People poo-poo on that game so hard. It's a good game. It's fun. You just turn your brain off. You just kind of chill and just enjoy it. I actually enjoyed it quite. I actually enjoyed it more than what was that Last of Us Kirby game, the 3D one.
Oh,
Last
Kirby
of
in the
Us-
Forgotten Land?
Yeah, or the Kirby of Us, whatever I call it. I actually like this more than that one.
Kirby of Us.
And
Wow.
yeah, that's what we called it, because the opening.
Kirby
The disrespect
there.
to Kirby
How dare you?
with Lachlan right there in the chat.
like,
I'm just saying, you played the
I've
game.
got
It's
all
like,
these
you know,
Kirby
It's cold.
things behind me, and you have to go and say that.
I cannot be the only one that sees the connection between the Kirby and the Last of Us between that game. Come on, I'm not the only one. Especially
Matt,
that opening trailer.
I'm going to leave this
Yes.
comment right here in
Uh-oh.
all
Thank
caps.
you. Orc.
Lockcliffe is
you.
upset.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I guess so.
look what you've
They're too
done
good
now.
franchise. I'm just saying. Just
I mean,
saying.
Pat in the chat agrees with you, so don't feel bad.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. But yeah, if there's another PPS game, I'll definitely check it out. But that being said, I'm glad that I waited for it to be on sale, and now that I'm done, I will be trading it in at some point. So it's a good game, but it's not a great game. And then, question from the press pool. Yes, Ron. Yes, Big Brother.
So I saw that you mentioned that you were trading PPS in. Does that mean that
am.
you didn't enjoy it enough to keep it in your library?
It's got to be spectacular for me to keep in the physical library. So it's
Alright.
good, like I said, but not that I'm not gonna go back and play PPS. Let's
Okay.
put it that way. I'm not gonna play it
I mean,
again.
that's fair.
So
All right.
yeah.
So are
It's
you
good,
going to use
but
that
it
money
wasn't
to
great.
get Echoes of Wisdom?
The truth is, Ron, I'm really gonna wait, and I want to hold out, be disciplined. I'm gonna wait for those games to actually be on sale. I'm not paying that $90 price tag plus tax.
I understand.
I'll hold on.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah. I can wait, Nintendo. I can wait, Dougie B. I can wait. The patient man. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, which means I get to go back and focus on Xenoblade Chronicles X and God of War Ragnarok. Xenoblade Chronicles X, like Ron asked me in the Discord a very good question, like show me a mech, and I'm like, dude, I can't. I just finished the prologue, and I played for I think 70 minutes this week, and honestly, it was just cutscene and explanations and cutscene. I'm like, guys, I like it, the story, but I want to pew pew pew.
Welcome to Xenoblade
So-
Chronicles X, where you don't get the mech
Yeah.
until 45 hours into the game. So
No
We've
mech
been
yet,
waiting a while.
not for me at least. So, anyways, so really, really enjoying my time with God of War Ragnarok. I want to talk about it, but I am spoiling it, so I won't say too much of where I am. But there was if you've played the game, it's right after you find Tyr, and then Atreus does something that he probably shouldn't have, and I really, really enjoyed that part. And there's some interactions that made me laugh, but again, just that experience was just very, very fulfilling, especially as a parent. And I don't even know if it was meant to be. I think it was just good for the story, but as a parent, I got a lot out of it that I was not expecting. So yeah, this game's gonna wreck me, friends.
ain't seen
I'm
nothing
enjoying
yet?
it quite a bit.
You ain't seen nothing
Oh
yet?
my god! So yeah, it's I don't I don't know what's gonna happen to me. Like I can't even imagine. Like this is just
I can't wait for
it's
that
all the
DM.
small stuff.
I can't wait.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yep.
It's gonna be ugly crying for sure.
Virtual
For
hugs.
sure.
Virtual hugs will come your way. I got you.
I need them.
Yep.
I need them. But before I pass it to Fuya, PlayStation Nation, we know that tonight's a big night. The Last of Us Season 2 is starting at 9 o'clock. So everybody who's with us tonight, we appreciate it. But yeah, no, we're very, very excited for it. So we know.
Yeah.
But Fuya, what have you been playing, my friend?
So we'll say that I've been playing some demos. I played a little game called Mischief, where you're a rat and you sort of running around this street park, and you end up. I think it's mostly like you're doing boss battles when you're fighting all these different things out in the street. Like I think the first one is a sand pit. And in the sand pit, there's it's the buckets and shovels stacked together, and it's made like this little monster kind of a thing, and it's kind of funny, and you have to beat that. But you can also, it's not just a solo play; you can also play it with up to 4 people as well, which is pretty cool. It looks really cute. It's very chaotic, and yeah, I kind of like the look of it, and you get to choose different characters. They're all rats, but there's different versions of these rats, and they've got different little outfits and they're different colors and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually kind of cute. So I definitely would recommend that one. I also played another demo, but this is a simulation, and it is parcel simulation, where you are the one who is sorting all of the packages and letters coming through the warehouse and sending them out. And it's actually quite interesting. The demo is actually quite extensive. You start off in a small warehouse. You have to sort through the packages, make sure they're valid for delivery, make sure that everything on the label is correct, the weight is correct, and all that sort of stuff. And then you get to a point where you can expand the warehouse a little bit more. You can add conveyor belts. You'll be able to buy other kind of equipment and shelving. Certain packages only go out on certain days. Like if it's air mail, it only goes out a couple of days a week. But if it's rail, that also only goes out on certain days. Road couriers are 7 days a week. So you have to kind of manage all of that kind of stuff. So not a bear game, definitely not a bear game.
And yet
Oh,
he's
it's not a
raising
bear
his
game.
hand.
I already know that. I worked at the Postal Service. I don't want a game to remind me of that at all. No, thank you. But I did want to ask, do you have to deal with angry customers who don't get their mail on time?
So you're not actually in a post office. This is more so just the warehouse itself where the packages come to, kind of like the hub. And then you sort them out so that they get shipped out from there.
So more FedEx than Postal Service kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
that kind of
All
stuff.
right.
Yeah. So that one actually I was kind of enjoying to the point where I think I lost time and I ended up playing it for like 2 hours.
Okay.
So
Well, that means we're having fun then.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Sometimes when a good simulation game comes along and it really digs into me, I am there. I'll sink hours into it.
Okay.
So Parcel Sim is not bad actually. I kind of liked it. I am continuing my my trophy cleanup of Jusant. It's actually been really nice to just go back into it and go through and rediscover some stuff and just listen to the audio soundtrack, like the soundtrack of the game, and just the ASMR of it all, like just hearing all of the different sound effects throughout the game, because the soundtrack doesn't play through the whole level, like the whole chapter. It plays at certain points. And so when there's no music, all you're hearing is the footsteps and the climbing noises, but also other things around you, which has been really cool. So yeah, I'm continuing my playthrough. I've already rolled credits on it, but I'm just going back and picking up whatever trophies I've missed, because there's a lot of collectibles in this game as well. So we've been playing that. I'm Sherlock Holmes and the Crimes and Punishment game.
How could we not
Tell
talk
us
about
about
this,
it.
Jem?
Yes,
We need to talk
tell
about
us all
it.
about it.
Please tell us about it.
I haven't finished it yet, but I ended up going to Backtrackers, and I was in the middle of chapter 5 when I rocked up, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna keep playing while we do the Backtrackers. So I just kept on playing while we were having the meeting.
You weren't
And then
worried about the meeting spoiling any of the parts you hadn't played yet?
Look, I'll probably forget. It's
No, because the story
This is
was
true.
meh. That's why.
That's
Story's
right.
meh.
No,
You're right,
hold
Matt.
on, Matt.
You're
Wait,
right.
no. Hold on. Calm down. Calm your phone.
He's telling
But-
the truth.
I'm actually kind of enjoying the game overall. There are some flaws to it that I could say could be fixed up or could have been better. But I actually don't mind it. It's actually not bad. The puzzles aren't too difficult until they get to be really ridiculous puzzles, and so I'm just like, yeah, I don't know that I like this puzzle, so I'm just gonna skip. I at least give it a
right.
shot. I attempt it. If I feel like I'm not getting it and it's not clicking after a certain amount of time, then I'll just be like, nah, just skip.
That seems like a good way to do it, because again, you're playing it for fun, and
Yeah,
you should be able to, if you're sitting there stuck forever, you don't feel like you have to continue to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, Matt.
Oh yeah. Number one, you are the MVP of the Backtrackers, because if everybody doesn't know, the Backtrackers is a video game book club. We usually meet at 11 a.m. Eastern time, but for Fuya, That's like
Yeah,
1
1
a.m.,
a.m..
2 a.m. That's right.
It's
That's right.
1
So she's
a.m.
the
for me, but when daylight savings is on, it means it's 3 a.m. Those ones are harder for me to get to. So the 1 a.m. one is doable.
you are the
Warrior.
MVP for.
Yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes. So fully attended the full session, but please,
Yes.
please share with PlayStation Nation what the backtrackers thought about in terms of what Watson did and how he was getting in people's way, how he wasn't helpful as a guide,
You might
how
as well
Sherlock was
talk
mean
about
to
it.
him.
Yes, please.
No, please.
Bury
I'm
it.
just-
Bury it. I want to see this. Slap the Chicks Award on it. That's what I'm talking about.
Look, I wouldn't say it's cheeks. I honestly wouldn't.
Nobody
but-
said it was cheeks. We didn't go that far. We didn't go that far.
Ron just said
but-
it was.
But a lot
Slap
of
the
people
sticker on it.
shared. A lot of people shared my sentiments with it. That it doesn't tell you what to do, and it's very frustrating. And
Yeah.
somebody brought up a very good point that if you don't want it to gamify too much, where it's like go here, because it's a detective game, that's not fun. Then Watson's there with you. Could you not just go to Watson and he give you a hint, like, "Hey, have you checked out this clue or talk to that person?" You know what Watson does? Number one, he gets in your way so you can't walk past him. It's annoying. And number two, he says stuff like, "Sherlock, what should we do now?" I'm like, dude, I'm asking you because I don't know what to do. This is just
Honestly-
annoying.
Honestly, there was a point where when Watson did say that, I literally said out loud, "Watson, I'm asking you, what should we
Yes.
do?"
Yeah.
What should we do? Because I don't know. And Watson's like, what do we do? I'm like, you're useless, Watson. You're literally useless and in the way. Why are you here? What a disservice to a character that's from the novels. Like, no, it was a lovely session, right, Fulia? It was a good talk.
It was a good session. Yeah, it was a good chat. And I'm still intending on at least rolling credits on it. Hopefully this week, and it'll be fine. I don't know why everybody harped on about Case 5 being the worst one. I'm in the middle of it right now, so I don't know where that sort of comes in, but I'll
The garden
find
one.
out soon.
The garden one,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You like that? Like, guys,
I
the friends.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know what it is that you find that's difficult about it.
I don't
or
think
that
she's
was-
gotten to the
It's-
part that made you mad, Matt.
it's not difficult. It's annoying. It is literally a labyrinth of gardening. And there's actually a map that doesn't help you, but it's like greenhouse A, greenhouse B, this vegetable garden, and you can't fast travel. Everything looks the same, and you gotta go back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, everything looks the same. There's Bag to Soul here. Where do I
The
go?
map-
Why is this
the-
garden
the
so
actual-
big?
The map that's at the garden? Are you talking about that little
Yeah.
billboard thing? I don't even bother.
Yes.
I just went up to it, clicked all the things, and then I went away. There's still like something about the map that I have to go back to, but I need evidence for it. So
That sounds like the
See?
map from Bill and Ted's excellent video game adventure on the NES, where it's just like it's like an isometric game where it's like on a slant, and it's like go north, but you have no concept of where north actually
what
is,
is not?
and let alone the fact that everything completely randomizes, so the map is useless. So for that, yeah, it's very
Yeah,
exciting.
no. Sherlock is like it's not a terrible game, like, but it does have its flaws, I will say. So it's not bad. And the last game that I want to mention is something that Lachlan and I did on this particular weekend, and we did a little mini indie game showcase in the Discord. And we played a little co-op game by the name of Bread and Fred. And it's a cute little game, very akin to like Celeste. It's the 2D pixel art. Two little penguins, they're tied together with a rope, and you have to traverse this world by jumping and swinging and climbing certain areas.
For audio listeners, Fulia is laughing at the comment from $2 Hero that says, "Y'all showcased it, all right."
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna get to
So,
it. We're gonna
I
get
was
to
going to
it.
say, this is where I want to mention that this is something that I kind of want to do more often and utilize the showroom in the Discord. So for those of you who aren't in the Carpool Gaming Discord, please join us. We do have a lot of fun in there. And the showroom itself was a great opportunity for us to showcase indie games. And that's where my idea of sort of popped up of going in there and playing this game. And Lachlan was, kind enough to join me. And we had so much fun. To begin with, we did sort of play it normal. We tried to get through some of the areas. We tried to climb as high as we could. Mm-hmm. We didn't get as far as triple digits, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But we were also like having some technical issues where we kind of lost connection a couple of times. So we had to try and figure that out. But then the moment we managed to like finally actually be like, all right, we're back. We can get back into it. But by that time, we were so frustrated with the game that we were laughing in frustration. So when we figured out our tech issues, we jumped back into it, and then we're like, let's see what assists this game has. And there was a few different assists, and I chucked them all on. And the moment we realized infinite jump was a thing, and we just pressed the jump button, these penguins started to fly.
There you go.
We flew to the peak of the mountain, 500 meters, and we did it. We beat it, and we got to the point, we rolled the credits, and we did it 3 times. The first time we did it, it took us a while. The second time was like, all right, now that you've beat it, how about a speed run? Cool. We beat it in 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And then we did it again for a third time because we wanted to explore the map a little bit.
The power of infinite jump is too strong, folks.
Yeah.
It's also...
But it was a fun stream, though. It was a fun stream.
Yeah.
We laughed so hard we were crying.
And as expected, everybody, by the time the 10-minute mark had passed by, Koala did drop an F-bomb. As was predicted by me and Star Athena.
Excellent.
Look, it did get frustrating at the beginning because it was like trying to, because there's like gaps. You have to be very precise about the jumps and like grabbing onto the cliffs and swinging. You have to be very precise about every movement you make.
But you guys were doing great with the teamwork, though. You were trying. We were doing pretty well. But yeah, it just got to a point where even Lachlan was just didn't want to have a part of it anymore. And I appreciate her for going out of her way to buy the game and play with me. But it is one of those games that you can also play solo. But when you're playing solo, you have your rock buddy Jeff, or what we would call Yef, and Yef is helping you out swinging through areas in solo. So we're going to try and play this game solo so we can get a bit better. And then next time we'll play together, we'll be much better. Okay. Are you going to ban the infinite jump this time?
Without the assist. We'll try it. We'll do it without the assist.
All right.
I have a funny feeling, folks, that in a few weeks, like, we're going to talk to Fulia, and then she's going to be like, all right, I've become a Brett and Fred speedrunner now. This is my life now. I'm playing this game over and over again, perfecting my times.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
Until
We'll see.
Fulia climbs to the top of the leaderboard and becomes number 1 at the world at Brett and Fred. That'd be something. That'd be something, folks.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Whoa.
Nice.
Whoa.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Ron.
Whoa.
I know some things are missing. Dragon Age, Horizon, Spiritfarer. Yeah,
The list goes on.
Yeah,
Whoa,
there's
wow.
Spiritfarer is always missing. Let's be real.
Well, you're right.
Let's
Ryan.
find out. Maybe she played it this week. Let her answer the question.
Yeah, I'm going
She
to
might
wait.
surprise us.
All right. When she put the hat
Yes.
down, I think that answered it.
She's good. She's gonna surprise us. She'll surprise
Ryan,
us.
what have you been playing?
Oh,
There it is.
Oh, well, I've been playing Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you imagine?
Fulia, since you so eloquently passed this on to me, first off, I played more Atelier Yumiya this week, but not that much. It's been first of all, it's just been a really busy work week this week. I don't know if you know this, but it's been a very busy news week this week. So I've been very busy, and I haven't had a ton of time for games. But tell you, Yumiya, I've officially shelved this game for now. It is not, it is not abandoned. I've not abandoned it. I just feel like I'm not really in the mood for this game right now.
Okay.
I'm liking it a lot. Like, it's 20 hours into it, but I just can't find the motivation to want to play it, even though I'm enjoying it. So I feel as though it's one of those games where if I'm like in the right mood for like a nice kind of cozy, but also like technically deep role-playing game experience, then I will definitely want to hop back to it. Like, there will be a time this year where I will be like really in the mood for this type of game. But just right now, it's not that time, unfortunately. So I just need something that's just relaxing and I can kind of turn my brain off. Especially too, because like the Lunar remastered collection's actually coming out on Friday. And I'm going to be definitely playing those games again. So I wanted something where I turn my brain off. Bring in, of course, Borderlands 3 is what I've spent my time playing this week. Because I didn't really play it when it came out. Like, I played it a little bit. But just wasn't really super into it at the time. And also too, I've kind of have this like on again, off again kind of relationship with Borderlands, where really the only Borderlands game I've actually finished is not technically a Borderlands game. It's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like the fantasy version of Borderlands. But Borderlands 3, Garrett and I were talking about it on RPG Cave recently. And it made me actually want to go back and actually give it another try. And it feels like the type of game I kind of need right now. Just a nice kind of like, turn my brain off. Who cares about the story? I just want to go in and blast stuff and collect guns and get even wackier guns and wackier ways to kill enemies and just explore these like, goofy wastelands and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's right time, right moment kind of game. Where again, it's not an amazing game. It's fine and fun, but it's the type of game I think I need right now. So that's what I've been playing is Borderlands 3. And of course more Final Fantasy 14. But again, y'all don't need me to talk about that any more than I do. But without further ado, though, it is now time for me to mark down the time code because it's time to shift it to topic of the week. So it is time for us to actually start building ourselves a theme park, everybody. Nintendo's got Super Nintendo World. Xbox will eventually build Xbox Land at some point, but we, the PlayStation Drive, are here to tell y'all about the theme park that we are going to design for PlayStation. I'm very excited to talk about this topic with y'all. We got to come up with plans, some designs. For one thing, I love theme parks. I haven't been to a theme park, though, in a very long time because, as Matt knows, in Canada, we really don't have a lot of theme parks. There's one that everyone kind of talks about. And, I mean, it's pretty close to my house. But, I mean, for the most part, we don't really have theme parks here. So
It's true.
I'm excited for us to talk about this, talk about our dream PlayStation theme park. Now, the way I kind of have to think about this, of course, is that just like, Disney World or Universal Studios, they kind of divide the theme park into like lands. And each of the lands usually has like a theme centered around it. Like you've got Main Street USA at Disney World, which is kind of like the Mickey Mouse kind of like blanket kind of like just very generic one. It also looks like it's set in the 1920s. But then you've got, Jungle Kingdom, and you've got like, the place where Space Mountain is, and you got the other stuff like that. So I think we should think about the themes we want to have for our theme parks. And I was kind of thinking like the different eras of PlayStation. Like you have like a PlayStation 1 era section of the park. You have a section of the park that's like, set up for like PlayStation, like portable PlayStation games, so Vita and PlayStation and PSP games. Another section of the park that's like the Jim Ryan era, the current era of PlayStation. Like, and you kind of have like rides centered around each of these ones. Am I too off base with this? What do you guys think about this? Like the overarching structure of this theme park.
I mean, it sounds all right. That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. So I think we should start. Let's start with the newest theme park. Like Ron, kick us off. Like, what are some of the rides you want in Jim Ryan Land, as we're gonna dub it?
I have to have something based on Horizon.
Of course.
Whether it's something similar to what like the Jurassic Park rides would do, but with pretty much all the robo dinosaurs in Horizon. You gotta have that. Maybe something that's there in simulation, you riding the Bronco through the land, getting chased by something.
Yeah.
Maybe for the people who pay extra, they even get a chance to hold a bow. Maybe run around, get chased by something. I mean, hey, a special pass. Jim Ryan would be proud.
It has his face on it, of course.
Yeah,
and
there
everything.
you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Now-
the Jim Ryan pass. Oh,
What-
come on, Matt. Don't do that.
Ron, what
Please,
if they did
please.
it? Ron, what if they did it where that you actually got to build your bow like at like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
I was actually going to lean into that because there's going to be a crafting center at PlayStation Playground where there's 2 areas. You can make your own bow, a la Horizon, and then there's going to be something like Ratchet and Clank where you can make your own custom weapons.
Oh,
and everybody who plays Ratchet and Clank knows there's all kinds of crazy weapons. Imagine, everybody will have a good time with that.
Everyone will want a Groovatron, you know?
Yeah, the Groovatron is great.
Yeah.
There's a million possibilities with the Ratchet and Clank stuff.
I'm going to build
So,
myself a Rhino 9000, of course.
The possibilities are endless. There's so many great weapons in Ratchet and Clank series. Oh, come on. That would be great. That would be great.
Jim Ryan land's already setting up pretty well. Of course, you gotta have like a God of War like flume ride, you know, kind of like Splash Mountain.
There's
where
a
it's just
lot of
like
stuff.
you're kind of like in the rowboat with Mimir, and he
Yes.
tells you like
Yeah.
some kind of story, and
Yes.
then you go down the
Yes.
waterfall, and the world serpent comes over the
Yes.
boat as you go
The
down.
World
and
Serpent
everything.
part would be great.
Wo-
That would be
Yeah.
great.
100%.
Yeah.
World Serpent needs to be there. I was thinking about in terms of God of War, like having a boat ride kind of a sort of a thing, and then you come out and then the World Serpent's just there, and it just that I think that impressed me in that game. So I feel like that needs to be incorporated
Yeah.
into the.
Ragnarok,
Yeah.
have the sleds. Have the wolves pulling the sleds. There you go. That covers the God of War area.
Yeah,
I think
like
we
it.
need to have an area in the God of War area where you can actually throw the Leviathan axe, like people do axe throwing,
I'm all
and
for
it's
that.
like
Yes. Yes.
and it's actually sized as a Leviathan axe, which probably is harder to throw. But
gonna
you
be
know
a
what?
bit heavy.
We'll let some engineers figure out how that works,
right.
and
Let them
if
figure
they
it
can
out.
somehow let them figure it out, so that even though it's awkward and big, and you throw it, you still hit the mark, and it comes back to you. Engineers, you figure it out.
Oh, I
That's
don't know
right.
how-
You figure it
That's
out.
going to be a disclaimer
Well done.
form that has to be signed,
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Also, you probably cannot have children anywhere near
Yeah,
that.
children are not going to be allowed.
Adults only.
Yeah.
No.
Just think about it. Just think about it.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I
Right?
the gym era theme park is theme park is sounding pretty good. We could even I'm trying to think of like what do we do for Ghost of Tsushima, because like you gotta have some Ghost of Tsushima representation, but like what kind of theme park attraction is Ghost of Tsushima?
I mean, it's a lot of stealth.
tough one.
So
Yeah, all I know is that that'll be the
It'll be
one
a bit
attraction that
harder.
Seth never goes to. He'll go to the rest of them. He won't go to that one.
You know what? You could
know-
do for Ghost of Tsushima? You can have an area where you get to do some artwork and some haiku poems, right? You got the
Okay.
music
And
playing.
it's-
You get to
it's
make your
themed-
own.
and
Yeah,
it's themed like a Japanese garden kind of a thing.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
To
I
put
can
you into
go
the
for
beauty
that.
of it. That's right.
Yeah.
So
That'd be nice.
Maybe
Ghost of
even a
Tsushima,
concert.
that's-
A concert at nighttime. The soundtrack
Beautiful.
for Ghost is great. So come on.
It is.
That would be fantastic.
So that is the Sean Layden era of our PlayStation Dream Park, right? Ghost of Tsushima, that's PS4. So I'm gonna stay in this course. I haven't decided yet on what I'm gonna do for Days Gone, right? But I know for The Last of
my.
Us.
Oh,
Hold
no.
on, I'll get back to Days Gone. Oh yeah,
No
but
one's
The
going to
Last
go
of
to that
Us,
park.
They will.
Motorbike ride.
Just let me get to
There you
it, please. Please believe me.
Let him cook.
But for The Last of Us, yes, let me cook. The Last of
Alright,
Us,
alright.
I know it's pretty basic, but basically a haunted house where you're kind of roaming through the like abandoned houses. Clickers are in different areas, bloaters in different areas, just like a spooky house, like a spoopy house. for
Like
sure.
the Haunted
That's The
Mansion at
Last of
Disney
Us.
World.
Exactly like that. Yeah,
The
which
Last
you
of
can
Us
hear the
mansion could
sound,
work.
the clicking
That could work,
sounds.
though.
Which is
That
funny.
could work, right?
It's funny because like you thought about that, but where my mindset went for the spooky ride that was like the Haunted Mansion was a Resident Evil mansion that was the spooky ride because
I would like
it
that
is
as
so
well.
associated with PlayStation, especially that first game where it would actually make sense for them to like get the licensing from Capcom to do something like that.
Right.
That would be pretty cool.
And then, because everybody wants Days Gone, obviously, it's a motorcycle sim, right? You get to ride, you get to customize your bike, hop on the bike, talk to the bike, fill up the gas, exactly what Deacon does, caress the bike. Days Gone
talk to
sim,
the
want to
bike.
fill the
right
gas.
there.
No one's going to want to do that part.
It's part
Yeah.
part of the game. It's part of the game. You fill up the gas. You want to
Oh,
do it in real life?
okay.
Yeah. Please fill up the bike. That's right. That's right.
Now, as part of the Sean Layton era land, Fulia, you can probably back me up on this. We can incorporate some kids rides in here. First of all,
Yes.
Loco Roco bouncy castle, like ball pit and
Yes.
everything. Just like Loco Roco, you have a bunch of like Loco Roco like characters as like the painted on the balls in the ball pit, and you have it play some like
That'd be
fun,
cute.
cute music to go along with that. You have a build your own Sackboy station.
I'm about to say, Sackboy's got to
Kind
have
of
an
like a
area for
Build-A-Bear
sure.
kind of
Yes.
situation. Yeah.
Exactly, because
That'd be cool.
every theme park needs merch, but then specifically because Seth is in the chat, and I know he would be very, very happy about this edition. Tokyo Jungle petting zoo.
Stop right
Oh,
there.
you know.
Yeah.
Why not?
That queue will have 4 people in it.
It's a petting zoo. It's a petting
Hold
zoo.
on.
People would want to go there.
I have an addition to the kids section.
Of course.
Oh,
Okay.
Concrete Genie?
Yes. Thank you,
yeah,
Ron.
Concrete Genie
Thank
would
you
be
very
actually
much.
great.
That's
You know,
right.
that's
Let the
gonna
kids
have
do some
these-
painting.
do digital
Do some
painting.
painting.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Thank
and
you.
then the little
Yes.
genies come to
You're
life.
welcome.
That'd be awesome.
Heck yeah.
I was also thinking of like a Horizon Zero Dawn merry-go-round with the Striders,
Interesting.
like because
Okay.
they're kind of like horses,
could
you know.
work.
Yeah, that works.
that could be a thing.
Yeah.
You could also, we need to have mascots. The mascots need to be walking around, roaming around
Definitely.
the
Of
parks.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
All of your PlayStation IP mascots are going to be there. Astrobot, Sackboy, Kratos, you know, Aloy, everyone. I feel like this would be like a good time to also add in like a little section for Astrobot as well.
Of course.
Kind of like Playroom in a way, where you're sort of like do like a one of those like jungle gym kind of a things where you know, the kids can just roam around and they can climb things, or they can, you know, grab the punch, the boxing gloves and do like punching with the spring with the
Yep. Like the power ups. Yeah.
yes, with all the little different power ups and sort of make it so that it works, you know, IRL, and that'd be really cute and fun, I think. And the kids would definitely enjoy it. It'd be fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that we'll also do in this area, because of course it's the Sean Layton era, and we would be remiss if we did not include this franchise in some way. Uncharted stunt show, similar to the Indiana Jones stunt show that exists at, you know, or it used to exist at MGM Studios. You'd have something like that, where it's just like they bring out, you know, a Nolan North sound alike, and they put on some Uncharted performances with a bunch of like crazy real life explosions in the background, because of course people love that stuff at theme parks. So yeah,
I was thinking for Uncharted to add an escape room where you have to solve a puzzle just to get out.
Nice.
Right? And you can got
Nice.
That would be
you
good.
got the Uncharted music in there. You can call Sully for help and stuff like that. But
Yep.
we have both. Like Uncharted's a big franchise. Like it needs multiple things, I would say.
Yeah.
And look, Spider-Man's going to be there. You can't have a Sony PlayStation playground without Spider-Man being there in some way.
Hold on. You're telling me the
Nah, I
mouse
don't
won't be
know.
upset? The mouse
Yeah, I
is
was
gonna
gonna
let us have
say.
It's
Spider-Man?
going to be all right.
Is he?
It's going to be all right.
Is he?
It's going to be fine. Sony's going to be like, hey, you know, technically this is ours.
I actually,
The mouse thinks otherwise. It's
well,
like, nope.
I don't know. I'm like with Ron on this one, because I think there's one Universal theme park that still has the Spider-Man ride there. So I actually think that he's not wrong, that they probably will let them have Spider-Man. In fact, I think Spider-Man's like where you have the one roller coaster that's there.
Yeah,
the
you gotta have
Spider-Man roller coaster.
something Spidey related. Something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd hope
That'd be
so.
interesting.
Yeah. But I'm going to think about the PS3 era and earlier. What do we do for some of the, what are some of the older franchises, the older PlayStation franchises that we want to get in there? Like Ape Escape, what kind of Ape Escape ride do you think we should have? Like, you go catch some monkeys with a net or something?
Kind of like a whack-a-mole sort of situation.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
Something like that. A small like mini game for
Yeah.
Ape Escape. Yeah, that
I
would
think
work.
so.
That would work. You
I'm
can have
also-
Jack and Daxter roaming around the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jack Daxter
Yeah.
probably could have its own ride, too, of some kind.
Well, I mean, I guess if you sit there and use some of the stuff from Jack 2,
Yeah.
you probably could.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting if there was some form of like orienteering where you're kind of like trying to hunt down things. Like you start off with the mascot, they give you clues, and you go around, you get the next clue, and by the end of it, like just going around this whole park, and then by the end of it, you get like a little prize at the end. That'd be
Hey,
something.
that's going to be only for people with the Jim Ryan pass. We can't just hand that out. That's got to be special.
That's true.
That's a special one. That's true.
Now, friends, I thought up the perfect beginner ride to kind of bring everyone into the park to celebrate the history of PlayStation, as one might say. To ape off It's a Small World After All from the Disney World theme parks, I'm proposing a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale ride.
Oh, no.
Where all
I
the
knew it was gonna
characters
come at
start
some
to
point.
sing a
I
song.
knew it was coming.
Where
I knew it was
you're on a
coming.
little boat and it goes through a tunnel and all the PlayStation characters are all around the side fighting each other while singing a song like It's a Small World. But it's PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale themed.
It was coming. We knew that. We knew that. I was thinking for Infamous, you can have like a comic book creator section where you can kind of make your own comic book based on Infamous. Because you have to be like a superhero. You kind of pick which side you want to be. And then Friends. I did not forget about Heavy Rain. No, don't worry. So for the Heavy Rain simulator,
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
a dark area. It's a dark room, and all you hear is someone yelling, "Jason!" and you have to find him in the dark
Like a
man.
before
Marco
something
Polo
bad happens to him.
situation.
Heavy Rain simulator.
And it's raining.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
You're welcome.
A rain
You have to
room.
find him.
I
That's right.
like that idea, Matt, but I want to raise you an even better Heavy Rain idea of
Please.
doing household chores for Sean simulator, where you have to like you have 3 hours in the ride where you have to like make him dinner, you got to clean the dishes, you got to watch TV with him, you got to help him do his homework. Because that's like a whole like 3 hour segment in Heavy Rain. You just make that into a game or into an amusement park ride. It'll be great.
I don't know if people want to line up for that one. That's my only worry.
Yeah.
Will they line up for that one? Will they?
More
Okay.
people
But they're
there
pretty-
will line up for that than the Tokyo Jungle Petting Zoo.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. We are missing out on a little bit of racing here, so we need a Gran Turismo area, like a sort of akin to the ride that I really enjoyed when I was at Disneyland was the Cars ride, and I think that'd be fun as a Gran Turismo ride.
Yeah.
So if you have like cars sort of lined up and then racing each other, and that'd be really cool. So or Gran Turismo bumper cars.
Well,
I was going to say the bumper cars thing for Ridge Racer, since PlayStation 1 had that. Maybe they could make a deal with Namco
yeah.
to, hey, can you let us borrow that for the bumper car thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I think
Yeah,
Gran
yeah,
Turismo would be closer to like the Days of Thunder ride that used to be at Universal, where it was like more of a realistic kind of like car drive video experience. Whereas Seth brought up a good point earlier, talking about like the AR Mario Kart game that's at the current Nintendo world, but doing that for Twisted Metal. Because,
Okay.
Oh my gosh, and have that ugly ass clown after you?
yes, of
Whoa.
course.
Whoa.
Whoa.
He has
Ugly.
a name. His
He's
name is
classic. He's
Yeah,
classic.
Well,
How
please.
dare
might
you?
as well be your horror ride.
Harsh.
Please.
No, but Sweet Tooth
no.
Sweet Tooth
No.
is like a classic
right.
PlayStation character.
That's right.
Yes.
And
please.
Twisted Metal has a successful TV show that season 2 is coming. So
That's right. Season 2 is
We-
coming.
Sony could
True.
even blow the dust off and do a Motorstorm ride. That would
That's
be
true.
awesome.
That's true. Although Seth also brings up Wipeout, which also I would love to see. Wipeout, of course, really,
Wipeout
really
would be
awesome.
straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm surprised that Matt hasn't come up with something for a Final Fantasy VII thing, because there's plenty
that's
of
for-
mini games in that.
Yeah,
That's
but
for
man,
PS1.
Square Enix would
That's
probably
for
have been
PS1.
like, hey, you're going to have to pay us big for that.
No, that we're saving that for the expansion to the theme park, the Gold Saucer, which will be all of the Final Fantasy VII stuff.
For only
Yes.
people who have the Jim
Own
Ryan
section.
pass. That's not
Yes.
for everybody.
Only
Jim
the Jim
Ryan
Ryan
pass.
pass.
Only
There you
Jim
go.
Ryan Pass. Only.
Ch-
And then
Chocobo
all the mini
race.
games that you want.
Chocobo,
Chocobo
racing.
Racing. Yes. Yeah. That
Yep.
sounds
Chocobo
good.
racing would be
right.
cool, but I feel like we have too many race rides at this theme park. We can't have too many.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Seth, of course, just going straight to my heart here. Parasite Eve laser tag arena. Like,
That's actually pretty cool.
that not only would be a
cool.
cool
Only the
ride,
parents are going to know what Parasite Eve is.
Yeah. I mean, I will. Okay, I will. God damn it.
Only the older people and the parents are going to know. Those kids are going to be like, what's Parasite Eve?
But you know what? The same thing happens when you go to Disney World. Like,
True.
no kids know who Mr. Toad is.
That is
Okay,
true.
so
That
they're
is
like,
true.
why is Mr. Toad's wild ride interesting? It's like, well, if kids, let me tell you 10 minutes about Mr. Toad and why he's important. But yeah, so we need to have some stuff like that too. Like you could have like an Oddworld ride, because again, that's like an old PlayStation franchise going all the way back to like that was like a launch title for PS1, or God forbid, a plane simulator ride where it's kind of like, the like Star Tours or something, but you do that for Siberia, the launch window game for PlayStation 1, which is a really bad game. But
I'm
it's like
trying to remember that one.
it's a sci-fi game where you're mostly shooting at a plane in a plane. But it's on rails. But you're also exploring this facility at the beginning, and the dude burns his hand off by sticking his hand in an explosive barrel too many times. It's a weird game.
Well, all right.
Last one I want to contribute. Metal Gear Solid VR missions ride, where you have to sneak
Yes.
through
Thank
and
you.
try not to be seen.
That's cool.
Till we get the end.
You can let a 4-year-old write the story. It'll be better than what Kojima has.
Whoa.
That hurts.
Too much.
That hurts.
Too much. That one hurt. Wow. Too far. Holy cow.
Award winning. Come on, baby.
Look,
Holy cow.
if we're going there, but then we need a Death Stranding thing where you put on your VR.
People are going to
headset,
walk
PSVR
enough
2.
at the no.
Oh,
Ron
no.
just
PSVR
mentioned he
2.
didn't want to be a postal worker again. That's literally what
No,
you do.
no.
I'm not saying you'll be the one moving. You'll be in a cart, and the cart will be moving
Oh,
while you're
no.
following
Oh, no.
around.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That would get
Just-
so many
no.
complaints. They walk around
No.
the whole park. They don't
No.
need to walk more.
That's,
No.
that's literally what Seth was saying. But
That's
really,
too much. No.
the
Death
real
Stranding, you just get to design your own baby. That's what people want.
Oh
Design
my
your
God,
own baby.
no.
Death Stranding. You're welcome. All
get to
right.
take it
It's
home in a
exactly
jar
like
and
Build-A-Bear.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, you pick the
We're
color,
gonna
the
get sued.
fluid,
We're gonna
type
get
of baby.
sued. You can't do that.
Yes, we can. Kojima's all over. He approved. Kojima approved. Build your own Death
Oh,
Stranding
no.
baby.
Oh,
You're
no.
welcome.
No.
You're
the
welcome,
real
fans.
ride we need. Rybo brought it up in the chat. Pepsi Man. We need a
my
Pepsi
goodness
Man.
gracious.
We need
Oh, wow.
Pepsi Man
We don't need
representation.
children being scared at the park. No,
Look, he
thank
just
you. Yeah, we don't need kids
No.
getting freaked out here.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. A shooting gallery based on wild arms. That'll probably just be for me and Ryan.
Oh, that would be Ron. That would be so dope. Oh
I
my
would love
god,
that.
That's
I
actually
would
pretty good.
love that.
That's actually pretty good.
I love that. You gotta bring wild arms back. So let me have a shooting gallery, please. Please.
I mean, I just
I
need
like
them
it.
to bring Wild's Arms back in any way at this point.
I would love
I'm
to
desperate.
see that. I really would.
Yep. I mean, we're getting Lunar back for God's sakes. It gives me hope that maybe Wild Arms could come back.
I would
one
be
day.
fine with that. I would be fine with that. Please.
Please. Oh my god. Well, all right. Do you have any other ride suggestions? I'm kind of tapped out on ride
I think
ideas.
that's about it.
I think we've got a good theme
I
park.
think that's about it.
Yep.
I think excellent theme park. Watch out, Nintendo. Watch out.
Well, hold on. For
yeah.
Jim Ryan Pass members, we can sit there and get Matt to dress up in a squirrel mascot costume, and all the kids can chase him around. I mean,
What?
for
That
a
works.
money prize.
That
It'd be like the
works.
ultimate hide and seek game. There you go, Matt.
Who
Yeah.
wants this?
Chase
Who
the
wants
squirrel.
this?
Chase the squirrel.
Oh my god.
Get $500.
Wow, that's
Oh.
the prize.
Actually, you know what? No.
Nobody wants that.
Hold the phone. We forgot about the most important ride for the Jim Ryan era.
Uh-oh.
Ron, do you,
Please
do
not
you know what
Concord.
this is? The Concord ride.
Oh,
we
God.
need the Concord ride. It'll be
what?
like the Guardians of the
what?
Galaxy Tower of Terror ride.
You
where
know what,
just-
Matt? Hop
Wow.
on Concord. It'll die in 3 hours, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, we can't do that. No.
We need a Concord ride. It needs representation.
Oh,
Actually, no,
boy.
no. We'll go with marathon instead. Okay, Ron, will that work out better?
There you go. That might survive longer than Concord did. We'll see.
You never know. You never know.
Hey, at least graphically and stylistic, it looks great.
I mean, to be fair, I actually was kind of hyped for that trailer. I think it looks pretty cool.
Hey, if it was PvE, I'd probably play it.
Yeah, same. Like if it wasn't an extraction shooter, I'd probably
Yeah,
be more
yeah.
excited
If it
for
was an extraction shooter, I'd probably give it a chance because I like the way it looks.
Yep. So
now
that's why we're going.
Star brings up a good point about gift shops. What kind of gift shops have we got?
Oh, come on. All the mascots, so you know you got to have stuffed animals of all kinds. That's for
Yep.
sure. We kind of
Vanity
talked about the
license
whole...
plates.
Yeah, the crafting center kind of falls in that part with the whole making your own bow. I forgot about Ghost of Tsushima. You can make your own blade. I mean, so we could do that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
kind
right.
of like the Galaxy's Edge, where you can make
Yes.
a lightsaber. Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that.
So, yeah, a lot of things could be done there. Matt brought up the thing about the Leviathan axe. Maybe you can make your own Leviathan axe. Or the spear, which is the greatest weapon of all time in God of War series.
Or again, all the
Plenty of
Ratchet and
things.
Clank weapons we talked about too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'd be a money.
But
maker
I mean,
right
you
there.
also have like plushies, T-shirts, Bort license
Yeah.
plates, all that. Good
Coffee
stuff.
mugs, all that stuff. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got you
what about the
covered.
food? What about the food stalls? What kind of food stalls do we have here? Maybe Fat Princess themed ones. I think would be a good one.
That's great. I forgot about Fat Princess. That would be fantastic.
Fat Princess? What?
Fat
Yeah.
Princess was a PlayStation 3 first party series that they had. It has like 6 games. There's a lot of Fat Princess games. It's like
They
a
did really
a
well.
strategy game. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Hey, the God of War cookbook. You can have God of War meals there.
Yeah.
So
Or at the very least, Ron, that'll be the one place where you get like your turkey leg. Will be at the God of War stand.
yeah.
Yeah, the giant turkey
And
leg.
maybe we can talk to Capcom and Monster Hunter. We can sit there and have all the palicos make food for you.
Or-
And have a whole area for that.
Or we'll have
nice.
the Resident Evil food cart, which will just be like different types of herbs.
Oh boy. Have somebody there
Oh,
scared
no,
to
we
be
can't
like,
do
that.
what you buying?
Yeah, green herbs, red herbs, yellow herbs. You buy them from this dude who's got the trench coat. He's like, "What are you buying?
What you buying? I don't feel safe buying
that'd be
anything from
amazing.
you. Thank you.
What are you selling?" Oh, I'll buy
wow.
that for a high price.
Man, and have like a little Astrobot, an Astrobot cafe, kind of like akin to like the Kirby cafe in the corner, and
Yeah.
just have everything sort of themed
Yes,
around
yes.
Astrobot with like
Yeah.
the little cakes and the
Yeah.
sandwiches and all that sort of stuff.
Herman, come on, holler at us. We got this PlayStation Playground. Come on.
We'll help you
Call-
out.
call-
give
call
us,
us
give
up.
us the Jim
Don't call Matt.
Yeah.
Don't call Matt. We already know you don't want to talk to him, but you can talk to everybody else.
Please, please call me Herman. Pick up the phone. I'm always
We've got
waiting.
ideas. We've got ideas. If you want your PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale ride, Herman, you know who to call. But, anyways, now that we've got that all planned out, let's hear from the Carpool. Because the Carpool had some things to say about this. Starting off with the captain, who says, "Hope you guys have had a great week. I'm still focusing on the Elden Ring Platinum. If I don't get completely stuck on one of the final bosses, I should have it by the end of the week. There's only one thing I need from a video game theme park, and that is the best thing Square Enix has ever created. Give me a real-life, full-size Blitzball stadium. I'm not sure how the dynamics would work, as no one in real life can really breathe underwater, but I'm sure Elon Musk can figure something out." Thanks, Captain.
Figure it out.
Blitzball
Figure it
does
out.
not need to happen.
Blitzball never needs to happen.
No, thank you.
Chap wants it.
See, that's the thing. Ron, you and I may not agree on everything, but that's one thing we will always agree.
Oh yeah, Blitzball's always going to be what we agree on.
Yeah, 100%.
Worst mini game ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But all right, moving on. Final Fantasy VIII is life. Final Fantasy VIII is love. Says the timing of this question is so perfect as I am responding from Disney World. I just rode on the Tower of Terror twice and screamed like a baby both times. I feel like the ride that drops you like that would be perfect for Horizons theme, like you climbing to the top of the tall neck and then rappelling down the tall neck. That's an interesting
Yeah,
idea.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be like the repelling effect because you'd be in the chair going up and down. So probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be the same feeling, but
And we probably had to have somebody sign a form for that.
probably. Well, if you were really rappelling down a rope, yeah, you probably
Yeah,
would need someone
definitely.
signing it.
You're going to sign a form before you go on this ride.
Yep. It sounds like that's a common theme with a lot of these rides. Next up, we got Croco Kyle, who says, "I'm just going to say, if there's a PlayStation park without a Ratchet and Clank coaster that has real grind rail sections, they're doing it wrong." That is the roller coaster you really need a lawsuit form for.
Yeah.
That's a tough
It
one.
sounds like it'd be a good time, but that sounds like I could go, yeah, sign here, please.
Although, actually, hold the phone. Have y'all seen any of the stuff from the Donkey Kong roller coaster that they're doing, which is the minecart roller coaster?
I have not.
Because there are legitimate.
Oh, is it
like,
really a minecart?
Yes, and the minecart roller
No,
coaster is
thank
supposed to
you.
be like Donkey Kong's minecart, where there's supposed to be like sections where you
And
feel
you
like you're
jump
no
over
longer
stuff?
you're jumping
Oh,
no
yeah, that's
longer on the
great.
track.
No, thank you. All I'll think
thank
about
you.
is just
I'm
the many
not-
times I died on that. No, thanks.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I do
still
not
ride
want that
That
ride.
sounds like fun.
Yeah,
That part of the game sucks. All right. I don't
Yeah,
want to
thank
be in
you.
real life.
No, thank you. I don't want to remind
Yeah.
you of that.
Hey, at least
I
we're
won't be
not
reminded
playing
either.
it. We're riding it.
that's true.
Koala,
No.
you know how many
No.
times I died on that level? I don't need to be in a
Exactly.
minecart and
Bad
thinking
memories.
about dying while I'm playing.
Thank
No.
you.
No.
But you're
That's
not in
right. I
control
don't want to be
of it, so
reminded
it's
of it.
fine.
Yeah,
No. No.
You know what,
It's
Koala?
not a real.
I tell you
it's not
what,
a real ride
you
for
go
position.
through the
That's right.
Last of Us mansion, and I'll sit there and hop on that
Wow.
minecart ride
You
with you.
walked-
It's just a ride.
Oh my gosh! Look,
Yeah,
I
even
made
exchange.
I made it through the Haunted Mansion when I was at Disneyland. So sure.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean,
now.
we know you love horror stuff, though, Fulia. That's a
Oh
definite
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get real
Or
up and closer
clean.
with the
Right
bloaters.
here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, maybe you do one like Silent Hill, where you have all kinds of creepy Silent Hill stuff in there too. That's
I don't know if you
and
can get her to go.
it's just
inside
full
that
of fog. Oh man.
one. Nah.
All right. Last comment before we get into questions comes to us from Black Wyver, who says, "Good day, Fab4. Firstly, I am playing The Last Campfire on Fulia's recommendation, and I'm
game.
really
Good
enjoying
game.
it. So thank you. Theme park idea. I would go all out. Let's have all the Sony IP in there, but grouped by location, by genre. Starts off with Astrobot, Sackboy, etc. And then you get to the far end, and it's The Last of Us and the likes of it. General progression to darkness. Also, around every corner, you should have a themed cafe matching the genre too, with customized food to match the games. That's another way you could do it. We talked about it, the eras, but you could also do it by like the theme as well. That's another way of doing it as well. But interesting, Black Wyver. Interesting. All right, let's get to some questions. We're going to start off with Quaggy, who says, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes. A Days Gone park sounds fantastic. I cannot wait to meet Deacon St. John and his such a good listener motorcycle. What are your thoughts on such a marvelous park such as this?" I mean, we talked about it a little bit because
Got
that
you,
was
Quag.
Matt's idea.
We did. Yep. I got you, Quag. Don't worry.
It sounds
We got
cheeks.
you.
No Quag. No one's going to
What?
want to go there
No.
except you and Matt.
No. Justice for Days Gone. I got you,
sure
Quag.
there's fans
Got
out
you
there.
set up.
Yeah,
Dozens for
all
you.
12
There's
of them.
dozens of us.
Yeah.
No, dozens, not
A
one
dozen.
dozen, not a dozen, not a baker's dozen.
You said dozen,
Dozens.
right? That's 12.
Yeah,
Oh,
literally 12. That is a definition of a dozen.
There you go, Matt. I mean, gosh, what's
no.
the problem?
No.
Oh, boy.
Wow, there's more people who bought the game. I don't understand.
Yeah. No one knows. But I guess we'll find out when the remastered version's because that's coming out soon. So.
That's right.
It is coming out soon. It is.
Yeah. Matt's going to buy a copy.
I have
right.
copies.
Next up, we got Antics, who says, "Hope everyone's doing well. Who wouldn't love to go on a fun, dark ride adventure based on Little Big Planet? Climb aboard your quote-unquote pod and fly through a colorful wonderland of chaos. It's a perfect match for each other." There you go.
That'd be kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. And then final question of the show comes to us from Kiku, who says, "I have been playing Witch Spring R lately, and it's so good. I'm surprised I've never seen anyone else mention it in the CPG Discord. I've been going through some rough times lately, so this has been kind of a cute little RPG that I need right now. Are there any specific games that you like to play when you're feeling down?" Well, actually, like, again, as I talked about it on this week's show, what I kind of like to play when I'm down, because I've been down for, a couple months now. I've been dealing with some pretty serious depression and loneliness. And what I've been really felt like has really helped me is playing a lot of games that are kind of like Borderlands 3, where I don't really have to think too much about it. I can kind of relax. I can sit there and just shoot stuff, and I don't have to worry about the story. Or just like old games, like a lot of 3D platformer or 2D platformers, I should say. A lot of stuff like Mario 3 or Ninja Gaiden, or just a lot of like old classic games Those are the two things that really, really are like kind of like my comfort food. So definitely when I'm feeling down, those are the types of things I like to play. I mean, I think it definitely plays into why I'm probably not super in the mood for something like Atelier, because even though it's kind of like a bit of a lighter story, there's still a lot of mechanics to it. And I have to actually, turn my brain on while playing that game and pay attention at least a little bit. Whereas Borderlands 3, I can just skip all the cutscenes and just have fun with it. So that's just kind of how I feel when I'm down. Those are the kind of games I play, but I'm curious to hear from the rest of y'all. What do you think about this? Who wants to go first?
For me, there's only one game that can get me out of a funk where I can just turn my brain off and I know it's just going to be cheap but reliable fun. And it's not the remake, but it's the OG Resident Evil 4. I've played that game. I can't. I've lost count, but I've played it since the GameCube, the Wii, everything. I am part of the problem. I bought every single port, every single copy of it. I have all the copies, but I can just go back and just hop in, and it just brings me back to being, 19 years old and just ham and cheese dialogue, kicking and suplexing, grandpas and grannies in that game, like just brainless fun. So because other games, it's always that hit and miss in terms of like, is this a guarantee that'll be fun and actually get me out of funk? It's not always guaranteed, but Resident Evil 4 OG is that guarantee for sure. So if I'm not in a good mood, that probably would be it. Unless, again, it really depends. Like if I want a quick cry and I want to cry because I'm feeling that way, then Resident Evil 4 is not that game. It might be something different. But in terms of just like getting out of funk, that's the one for me.
You're going to totally buy that game when it comes to Switch 2, aren't you? Like you're the perfect mark for that. You're just going to buy that.
Who says I haven't pre-ordered it somehow? Who says I haven't, called up some friends, CEOs, and said, "Here's my money already." I don't care. It's not announced. Just
he is
here's
a
the money
Capcom
already.
board member. He is a Capcom board member, so he already knows.
So
All of this makes sense.
that's right.
Yeah.
Give it to me, please.
Yep. What about you, Ron or Fulia? Who wants to go next?
I mean, it's going to depend on what game I'm playing at the time. Some games, if it's nothing that has a deep story or something I got super pay attention to, then I'll probably just play whatever game that I'm playing. But depending on how stressful the week has been, especially if it's work, Madden has always been a go-to for me. I mean, I don't really have to sit there and put in too much effort with Madden. I can just sit there and just have a good time playing that, and that's it. I don't have to sit there and think about, deep stories, characters, or none of that. So Madden, and like I said, it really just depends on what game I'm playing at the time. If it's not an RPG, then usually I'll just stick with it, whatever game I'm playing.
Yeah. That's the thing. If it's not like super like story heavy or anything, like I'm kind of in the same boat with that too. But how about you, Fulia?
I don't know. When I'm feeling down, I don't really gravitate towards playing games. I generally would rather just watch something, just not have to really do anything. So for me, it's just I would rather just watch instead of play, because when I'm playing, I want to be like in a good mood, and I know that games can also give you that good mood, that positive mood. But when I'm feeling down, I don't think about wanting to be playing something. So for me, it's just I turn on like my comfort food show or a movie or something that I know is going to cheer me up, and I just let it run. But yeah, I don't really play games when I'm feeling down. Once I feel better or I'm feeling a little bit more happier, like my mood has been boosted a little bit from watching something, I might go towards playing a game. But yeah, usually I don't go to wanting to play something. I just want to sit there and just do nothing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Like that time where I was like, I'm going to watch all of MasterChef USA in an afternoon instead of playing games, because I'm just like, I'm just sad and just
Sometimes you
sit
do
here and
that.
just that.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'm like, man, I'll just watch all the Leprechaun movies and wishing Fulia would watch these movies. Yeah. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for this. I mean, when we've gotten into the territory where we're mentioning the Leprechaun movies, it's time to wrap up the show, folks. So, of course, before we wrap up the show, of course, we have to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on our podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. You can find all of his music over at his linktree, linktr.ee/pme.jib, or if you have a little vinyl like this one from him, you can also play this on your record player of choice. Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. And Technical Michael, who says, whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcasts. Our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, the captain in Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, John 32, Ligerwoods 330, Mr. Giggles, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Peje, Riley King, Solo, Stephen Keller, and Toxic. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you all want to hop in the car with us, head over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Ron Plugs go.
Savoy Prime on all the things: PlayStation, Steam, Xbox, Backlog, PlayStation Profiles, True Trophies. And I also want to give a shout out to Ribo, who's buying me a sweet potato. He told me so.
Oh.
Yes, we did it. Are you serious? Ribo, let's go.
Ribo said he's going to give me a Switch too. So I was like, all right, I'm all for it.
Let's go.
Good,
Yes,
good luck. Good
let's
luck
go.
to actually receiving it on time.
Oh,
Yep.
it's all right. The GameCube,
okay.
I can wait for it. The GameCube Classics, that's the only
That's
thing I want.
right.
I thought you
Yes,
were. I
we
thought
can
he was
play-
getting it
yes.
for you for Various Day Life. You were going to play Various Day Life on it.
No, Various Day Life is not happening.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're playing Double Dash together, Ron. That's great. Yes.
Please,
Let's
you actually
go.
think
Mario
they're going to
Strikers
put?
online.
I was going to say, you actually think they're going to put Double Dash on NSO? Because I don't know about that. We'll see about that.
Have to. Please. It's the GOAT. Come on, Nintendo. Don't give me GameCube games without the Double Dash.
It would be
Come on.
funny, Matt, if that was the one NSO that they didn't include the Mario Kart game on, because they have like it on 64 and Game Boy Advance and Super.
That would be
Nintendo.
totally disrespectful if they don't do that.
Yeah.
What
I'll be mad
what's
at that.
next? An actual slap in the face? Like, come on. That's just too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dougie B, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah, Dougie B's done enough already. Please. All right?
Oh man.
Come on.
Oh jeez.
Huh?
Well, Matt, where can we
I'm
find
just
you?
saying. You can find me over at Blue Skies, Nagachaka, and in the Carpool Gaming Discord.
And Fulia, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Foolish Fuji. You can also find me on socials, Blue Sky and Instagram at Foolish Fuji. And for everything else plus more, you can head over to foolishfuji.com or foolishfuji.card.co.
Yard, ar. And as for me, you can always find me in the Discord at Ryan Turford. And you also find me on backlog.com, also at Ryan Turford, where I write about games that I played. It's very exciting. So that's going to do it for this show. So for Fulia, Matt, and Ron, I'm Ryan. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 194. Now we're all going to run over and go watch The Last of Us. So good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Adios, friends.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.